Hi, I'm Pastry Chef Maria Kemp of Beyond Decadence, and welcome to Mastering the Details, a video series designed to help you learn tips and tricks that will make you more successful in the kitchen. These videos are unedited, so you're going to see everything real time as it happens. Today, what I'm going to teach you how to do is to measure butter and also how to cut properly. So this is butter I just took out of the refrigerator. It's ice cold, which is great because I need my butter to be cubed. And usually when a recipe calls for butter to be cubed, it needs to be cold. So this is cold. The lines on the side of the butter you'll see are tablespoon measurements. 1 stick equals a half a cup, and then it's got the lines for each tablespoon that represent the stick of butter. So there are 8 tablespoons in a stick of butter. Now, another thing about cutting I want to show you is I've got a little baby cutting board, and I've got this little silicone mat underneath it, which I got at a trade show years ago and I love. And when I put that underneath the cutting board, it keeps it from moving around. So when I'm cutting, that silicone is gripping the counter and my cutting board is not going to move. Because if a cutting board moves when you've got a sharp knife in your hand, bad things can happen. If you don't have a fancy little piece of silicone like I do, you can always wet a paper towel and put that underneath your cutting board and just make sure it's flat, and that will keep it from moving as well. So you've got the paper towel option, or you've got the silicone pad option. So I'm going to use my fancy little silicone pad, and I'm going to show you how to cut the butter. I've got my nice sharp knife here. So I'm going to cut this whole stick of butter, and I'm going to cube it. So like I said, it's right out of the refrigerator, so it's super cold. And the first thing that I do when I cube it, first of all, I'm holding my knife so my fingers are out of the way. They're back behind it. And I'm going right down the center. So I'm going to go straight down. And I heard it get the board. And I've got to use my thumbs to get it off of there. And then I'm going to cut these pieces individually. So I'm just flipped it, and then I cut down the center again. So I'm taking this piece, and I'm going to lay it down, and then cut down the center. So then at that point, I'm going to line them up all next to each other, and I've got my fingers back behind the blade. And you can use a rocking motion. That's typically how you see people cut. It's a little challenging when the butter is cold because it wants to stick. That's why I've got my hand at the front part of the knife, and I'm doing the rocking motion so it's coming up. I'm trying to keep the blade on the board. It's a little hard with butter, but you can do it. And then, oops, it is moving a little bit. Must be something underneath the board. I think I got a little flour underneath it. And I'm just cutting little squares, basically. So this is what it means when a recipe calls for butter to be cubed. You always start with butter that is cold, right out of the refrigerator. You don't want it to be soft, and then it ends up in little squares like that. So that is how you stabilize your cutting board. I don't know why that's got a little wobble to it. Maybe I didn't have it over far enough, but the silicone should grip it. I think I have some flour underneath there, which would make it slide. And then, or you can use your wet paper towel if you don't have the silicone pad. So that's how you cube butter, and that's how you stabilize your cutting board. Turn on your notifications to our YouTube channel so you'll be notified when we post more videos on tips and tricks to help you be more successful in the kitchen. Until next time, I'll see you soon.